Sussex squad, forever family, my magnificent court of kindness, grab your favourite tea and settle in because we're about to dive deep into a story that perfectly encapsulates everything we've been talking about on this channel. This is about recognition, about being seen, about the beautiful karma that unfolds when institutions try to erase excellence. But the universe has other plans. While the royal family was busy orchestrating their perfectly curated social media posts, handing out lukewarm congratulations and selective acknowledgements to everyone except the very person who literally carried England to glory, the football gods were watching from above, sipping their celestial tea and whispering, "Oh no, we're not letting this slide." Enter the Young Player of the Tournament award. And guess who claimed that crown with the grace of a queen and the confidence of someone who knows her worth? Michelle Agyemang. That's right, my beautiful family. While the palace was busy perfecting their Instagram aesthetics and apparently suffering from a convenient case of selective amnesia, Michelle was out there on that pitch dismantling defenders like she was clearing out a closet, slicing through opposition with the precision of someone who refuses to be ignored. She didn't just play well. She played like the final whistle depended on her very heartbeat, like England's dreams were literally riding on her shoulders. Let's be crystal clear about something, because we don't deal in half-truths on this channel. Without Michelle Agyemang, England wouldn't have made it past the quarter-finals, let alone to that historic final. She didn't just contribute, she carried them. Period. Full stop. VR checked. And there were absolutely no offsides in this excellence. Now, while the royal social media team was busy cropping out brilliance like they were editing a family photo to remove an unwanted ex, we, the people who actually see greatness when it's standing right in front of us, said, "No, we see you, Queen." That UEFA trophy wasn't just a piece of metal and engraving. It was karma cast in chrome, destiny delivered with a bow, justice served on the most prestigious stage European football has to offer. It said, loud and clear, "You can't ghost greatness, babes. You tried it, but excellence has a way of demanding its due." Let's talk about the symbolism here, because this story writes itself better than any fairy tale. A 19-year-old black girl from South London crowned by European football's highest stage, while the institution that shall not be named apparently forgot their reading glasses when it came time to acknowledge her contributions. You couldn't script a more perfect reversal. If Shakespeare and Shonda Rhimes locked themselves in a room with unlimited creative freedom. Michelle didn't beg for validation. She didn't campaign for recognition. She earned every ounce of respect with pure grit, undeniable talent, and enough skill to power the entire national grid. And now she's not just a footballer. She's the moment. She's the movement. She's the inspiration we're all here for. The royal family's post-victory social media message hit the internet like a damp scone full of traditional pomp and ceremony, but mysteriously missing the name of the very person who made their celebration possible. England had just achieved something historic, something that sent the entire nation into euphoric celebration. Streets flooded with joy. Strangers embraced like long-lost family members. Pints flew through the air in pure jubilation. It was unity, it was pride, it was everything a victory should be. But something was glaringly absent from the official royal acknowledgement. Michelle Agyemang, the powerhouse forward who dragged England to that final like she was carrying everyone else's dreams in a bag for life. The woman who turned seasoned defenders into confused bystanders and made goalkeepers question every life choice that led them to stand between her and the goal. When that royal congratulatory message dropped, social media exploded faster than a pressure cooker left unattended. People were rightfully outraged. How do you forget Michelle Agyemang? How do you craft a message celebrating English football without mentioning the player who quite literally saved the tournament for England, not once but multiple times? This wasn't just a social media oversight. This was a royal-level snub. A gold-plated example of selective recognition that said, "Congratulations to everyone who fits our narrative, but not you, Michelle." Whether this omission was accidental or deliberate, whether it was just another case of institutional blindness or something more calculated, we'll never know for certain. But what became crystal clear was that this oversight struck a nerve that went far deeper than football. It became a flashing neon sign pointing to a fundamental question that communities like ours have been grappling with for generations. Who gets celebrated when it's time to distribute the glory, and who gets conveniently forgotten? Let me paint you a picture that perfectly illustrates Michelle's impact. Picture the 81st minute of a nail-biting Euro 2025 quarter-final against Sweden. England was looking flatter than day-old champagne. Hope was fading faster than a summer tan. Nerves were absolutely shredded. Then Michelle Agyemang stepped onto that pitch like Beyoncé walking into a karaoke bar. Calm, confident, and absolutely about to transform everything. She didn't just enter the game, she rescued it like it personally owed her money. She came off that bench and essentially announced, "Right then, allow me to fix this situation," and proceeded to twist those Swedish defenders into pretzels. England won. Fans lost their minds with joy, and Michelle logged off like it was all in a day's work. But the drama wasn't finished. Semi-final against Italy, tense, tight, with the clock doing literal jazz hands as time ticked away. And who stepped up when England needed a miracle? Agyemang once again. She cracked that game wide open in injury time like she was opening a jar of pickles, scoring with the casual confidence of someone who specialises in impossible moments. England advanced to the final, and once again Michelle had saved the day like some footballing superhero with cleats instead of a cape. Without Michelle Agyemang, England's Euro 2025 journey would have ended in disappointment and what-if conversations. She wasn't just a player. She was the spark plug, the clutch performer, the one who rewrote the script when everyone else was ready to accept defeat. She was the difference between glory and going home early. And yet, in the official royal congratulatory message, there was nothing. Not a "well done, Michelle," not a wave, not even a crown emoji, just royal radio silence like she was some extra who had accidentally wandered into the team photo. The audacity was breathtaking. People online absolutely lost their collective minds, and rightfully so. "Where is her name?" they demanded. Did the royals watch a different tournament? Was this message sent from a palace time machine stuck in 1996? The questions poured in because the omission was so glaring, so impossible to ignore. This wasn't just a clerical error or an innocent oversight. This was a vibe, a deeply rooted, eyebrow-raising reminder that even when black women are literally saving the game, carrying teams on their backs and delivering miracle after miracle, they can still get sidelined when it's time for the official applause. But here's what the royal family and their social media team failed to understand. The internet doesn't forget, and neither do the people who recognize excellence when they see it. While they were busy crafting their next perfectly symmetrical Instagram post, Michelle Agyemang was trending worldwide, not just because of her incredible goals, but because people refused to let her contributions be erased from this historic moment. The fans saw what happened, the team saw it, social media documented it in high definition. Michelle Agyemang wasn't just a player in England's success story, she was the player, the miracle worker, the last-minute legend who consistently delivered when everything was on the line. Then came UEFA's response, and it was nothing short of poetic justice. When they announced Michelle Agyemang as the young player of the tournament, it wasn't just an award, it was a statement that echoed across stadiums and social media platforms. It was a flashing neon sign that screamed, "You can try to ignore her brilliance, but she will still dribble past your entire defence and score in the 92nd minute." Michelle didn't campaign for this recognition. She walked into Euro 2025, kicked down every door that tried to contain her talent, and announced to the football world, "Hello, I'm the future of this sport, and I dare you to try and stop me." And there were attempts to diminish her impact. We saw them, we documented them, we called them out, but UEFA said, "Absolutely not, we see you, Queen," and handed her a trophy so magnificent it practically whispered, "Stay pressed." This wasn't some consolation prize or polite acknowledgement. This was Michelle Agyemang walking up to football history like it owed her an explanation, claiming her rightful place and smiling with the confidence of someone who knew this moment was inevitable. Her performances throughout the tournament were so electrifying, she could have powered every stadium light if the electricity had failed. Fans were gasping in amazement. Opponents were panicking when she got the ball. And her teammates, They were looking at her like, "Are you absolutely certain you're only 19 and not already a seasoned legend? The most beautiful part?" She accomplished all of this with the cool confidence of someone who had been preparing for these moments her entire life. When critics whispered she was too young, Michelle responded with goals that silenced every doubter. When people suggested she wasn't ready for the big stage, Michelle delivered late-game heroics that rewrote narratives in real time. When institutions tried to craft stories that didn't centre her contributions, Michelle rewrote those scripts and handed them back with her autograph. This young woman embodies everything we celebrate here on Meghan and Harry Tales: the refusal to be diminished, the commitment to excellence despite systemic oversight, the grace under pressure that transforms obstacles into opportunities. Michelle Agyemang is the embodiment of rising above institutions that fail to recognise your worth and letting your work speak louder than their silence. She's the bracket breaker, the queen of clutch moments, the young baller with old-school swagger who reminds us that sometimes the universe has perfect timing. UEFA handed her a trophy, but the rest of us, we handed her the crown she always deserved. Michelle Agyemang's story is our story. It's about being excellent in spaces that don't always celebrate your excellence. It's about carrying teams, carrying communities, carrying dreams on your shoulders while others get the headlines. It's about that beautiful moment when recognition finally catches up with reality, when karma arrives dressed in championship gold. So here's to Michelle Agyemang, the young queen who reminded us that excellence cannot be erased, that talent demands acknowledgement, and that sometimes the most powerful response to being overlooked is simply continuing to be undeniably brilliant. Long may she dribble, long may she inspire, long may she remind us all that our worth isn't determined by who chooses to see it, but by the undeniable impact we make when we refuse to dim our light. That's a wrap on today's episode of Meghan and Harry Tales, hosted by Adrian. If this story resonated with you, if Michelle's journey reminded you of your own battles for recognition and respect, then you know exactly why this channel exists. We are here to celebrate excellence wherever we find it, to call out oversight when we see it, and to build a community that refuses to let brilliance go unnoticed. If you haven't already, smash that subscribe button and ring the notification bell, because we're just getting started with stories that matter, conversations that challenge, and perspectives that celebrate resilience in all its forms. Your support means everything to this community we're building together. Keep shining, keep supporting each other, and remember, your excellence doesn't need anyone's permission to exist. Until next time, this has been Adrian, signing off from Meghan and Harry Tales, where we celebrate the moments that matter and the people who make them unforgettable.